It's been a while, hasn't it? Sorry for taking so long of a break. A lot of stuff has happened in my life, mainly getting a new dog. I have 2 dogs in my house, and they play fight a lot. In fact, here comes the new dog now. Please don't knock anything over. Oh my God, thank God. There they are. Oh, hold on. Hey, buddy. Hey. Sit, good boys. There they are. There's my babies. Okay, don't play fight while I do this, okay? I need y'all to take a break. Let's get into what we're making today. We are making mamajuana. I'll get this up close real quick. Mamajuana is a Latin American drink. It's a bag of wood bark and spices, and I'm not exactly sure what each of these things are. All I know is that you soak it in alcohol for a good long while, and then you drink it. And that's all I need to hear. I'm gonna try to get everything inside of this mason jar. Okay, you can see that right there. Now, I'm gonna take this big bottle of rum and I'm gonna fill her up. There we go. It doesn't have to be to the top. And the reason is because this rum is actually gonna get thrown out. We're gonna leave this to soak in the rum. Here, let me put the lid on it. For 2 weeks. Give it a shake. Then I'm going to put this in my closet and I'm going to leave it for 2 weeks. The idea is that the rum is going to take out a lot of the bitter compounds, a lot of the bad tasting stuff. Then we're going to dump out all that rum, keep all the wood behind, and then we're going to add new liquor to the jar and let that go for 2 weeks. And then all the good stuff will be left behind. And I've never had this before, so I have no idea what this tastes like, but hopefully it's real good. I will see you in 2 weeks. Okay, it has been 2.5 weeks. I have been very busy, and the liquid has turned completely dark. Now, I am supposed to remove all the liquid from this. This is not supposed to be quote-unquote drinkable, but curiosity is getting the better of me today. Am I able to do this? Let me see. How do I do this? All right, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of this, put it in this shot glass. It smells spiced. It smells like cinnamon, clove, black licorice, that kind of stuff. Smells good. Okay. It's not bad. This is the first time I'm trying this, so I have no idea in comparison to the final product how good this tastes, but I wouldn't mind drinking this. But let's follow the recipe. Let's throw basically all the liquid out. This is supposed to be no good. And then we're gonna put in our spiced rum, our red wine, and our honey. Okay, the jar is completely empty because the recipe I'm using calls for 500 mils of spiced rum, which will probably hit right there. 250 milliliters, half the amount, of some cheap red wine. Then we add honey to sweeten it up. I don't know what this tastes like right now. Let's see if we need to add any at all. The wine itself has some sweetness already. It wasn't a dry wine, so I don't know if I might add 1 tablespoon, maybe 2, and then I think I'm going to call it there. Now, I will say that the overall taste I'm getting right now is one of cough syrup, which does not make me optimistic. All right, 4 spoonfuls of that, which is 2 tablespoons. I'll use my big spoon to stir this up. Okay, the honey does soften the cough syrup taste a little bit. I'm gonna add some more. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Ooh, I think that's nice. That's really nice. Yeah, okay, we turned it around. Now, in the recipe, it does say that you can add some other spices to this, so I will add 2 cinnamon sticks to this drink. Let's say 3 whole cloves. This is powerful stuff. And then I have some allspice. I'll just drop 4 of those in there. I am not the best when it comes to steeping spices inside drinks. Okay, then I'm gonna put the bark back in the jar. Close it up. And we will let this sit for another 2 weeks. All right, we're back. Now, let us try the final product. Smells really good. It's sweet. It's got a lot of spice in it. I can definitely taste that clove, that cinnamon, all that stuff is in here. It's very deep. It's got a heavy body, and it's definitely a fall time drink. Let's see if I can do this easily. Oh, Lord. Okay. There we go. All right, let me try this again. But let me put it in a fancier glass to see if that makes any difference. Give it a swirl. Give it a smell. Act like I'm thinking real hard about this. I'm not. That is good. It's got like very, very mulled wine vibes, very spiced wine vibes. I feel like if I did this again, I would add less clove. It's a little overpowering, like maybe half. I can't remember how much I put in, but whatever it was, like half that amount. But this is really good. But, hi buddy, how you doing? Look who's come to join the party. Okay, this is not for you. However, I can't just drink this by itself. If I'm gonna drink this, I need to have some food. And if I'm making a Dominican drink, I'm gonna make some Dominican food. So let's do that while my dogs fight under the table. We're gonna make what I believe is called quipes. It's deep fried ground beef wrapped in more ground beef. Sounds good to me. I have some bulgur wheat, 1 cup, that's been sitting in 2 cups of water, soaking it all up over the course of the past 5 hours. You can see there's still some at the bottom, but this is good enough. So the goal right now, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna switch my plan up. I got this cheesecloth in this bowl. I'm gonna dump all of this inside. And the goal is to squeeze as much water out of the wheat as we can. I'm not gonna go ham on it. I'm not gonna try to or except maybe once, just for the satisfaction. But really, I just wanna get a good amount of water out. I think the reason why I avoid squeezing so hard is because, it gets stuck inside the cloth and then you gotta shake it to take all the stuff out. Next step, I just got a food processor and you damn well better believe I'm excited to use this. So I have a whole onion cut up into rough cubes. I'm gonna put in there 8 mint leaves, throw those in there. And then this is the first time I'm ever gonna use this. So let's see if I don't mess it up. Come on. All right, cool. What speed do I go at? I don't know. Low? And then to the mixer, I'm gonna add some adobo seasoning. This is Goya brand. There we go. I'm just gonna eyeball it like I do everything. The recipe I'm using says to add 1.5 teaspoons. And I'm just gonna say, that's enough. I'm gonna add some black pepper. And some adobo seasonings come with MSG. This one doesn't. So let's add some. Just a little, that's definitely enough. That's enough. Now I'm gonna add the bulgur wheat to the mixer. Put the lid on and run this again. Low? Nah, let's do high. Scrape down the edges. Okay, I'm gonna say that's done. And before doing anything further, let me taste this. I'm gonna add a bit more salt. I'm gonna add some smoked paprika in there too, just to give it a little more depth. That is probably not entirely, accurate to how it's culturally made, but this is my house. I'm doing it my way. Next thing, our recipe says to add 1 pound of ground beef. I'm gonna do my best to kind of break this up a little bit. Should be easier to mix. And this is why I'm okay with kind of over seasoning the bread mixture, just because we're gonna mix it up with all this unseasoned beef. With that done, we have a fairly homogeneous mixture. This is our meat outer wrapping. Next, we're gonna move to the meat inside. All right, I didn't spend a whole lot of time cleaning this out because we're just gonna end up throwing some more stuff inside that gets mixed up with meat eventually. So I'm putting in about half a yellow bell pepper, 1/2 an onion, and 1 giant clove of garlic. And I'm putting in some roughly chopped cilantro. Latin American recipes, so I gotta use my Mexican, Latin American accent. So cilantro, cebolla. I'm not really sure what the Spanish word for bell pepper is. I'm a bad Mexican. Anyhow, put that in there. We're just gonna put this on low for a bit. Let's go ahead and dump all that into a bowl. To our onion, bell pepper, cilantro mix, I'm gonna add 1/2 pound of ground beef and figure out where to store this. And before I glove up again, we are gonna add the seasoning. So I'm supposed to add, I'm just gonna eyeball it again, a certain amount of adobo seasoning. We'll add some extra salt to that. A little bit of MSG, and this time I really do mean a little bit. Some black pepper. And you know what? Add a bit more adobo seasoning in there. Can't go wrong. All right, now we glove up. I wonder if I can do that thing that like all the doctors do, where they're like, the sound was not as satisfying as I was hoping for. Now the yellow bell pepper is something that I'm using in place of cubanelle pepper, cubanella. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I mean, my English brain is like cubanelle pepper. I can't find that here in the States. Cubanelle peppers, so far as I know, are meant to be sweet and a little bit spicy, which actually reminds me, I gotta do something. Since bell peppers have no heat at all, I'm gonna add just the tiniest bit of cayenne. But I think we're good enough here. It smells amazing. This, we gotta cook up. Okay, I am browning up this meat real good. I'm now gonna add a 1/4 cup of tomato sauce, and then I'm gonna add some chopped green olives. All right, this has cooked up nicely, but it has to cool down to room temperature before we can use it. So I'm gonna take these dogs out for a walk and probably go to the gym. Just do something with my time, and then I will come back when I'm done. Okay, I am back from the gym and I am assembling the piques. So I'm taking about 1.5 scoops of the breading. I'm gonna roll it up into a bowl, then I'm gonna smash it. Let me see if I can show you how thick that is. It's about that thick. And I'm not adding a lot of filling. There's actually not a lot you can fit in one of these. I would say that is about enough. I am taking one side and tucking it over, taking the other side, and doing my best to kind of fit everything in there. Then I'm gonna take the ends, and I'm gonna fold them in, and then we have a seam that's running along here. I need to do my best to close that up. So I'm just gonna use my hands to kind of shape things into like a little capsule form. There we go. That's what they should look like. And now I'm just gonna do that with the rest of my stuff. Okay, I am done. I ran out of wrapping. I have a little bit of filling left over. I'll figure out what to do with that. As I got better at making these, I was able to make the outer wrapping thinner and fit more filling inside each one. So I'd say like these 3 and these 2 down here are like the better parts of my work here. So I'm gonna cook these. These other 5, I'm gonna freeze them, save them for later, maybe make them for some friends. But we need to par freeze these for 2 hours. That helps them maintain their shape. It also helps so that when we freeze these for longer term, you know, when we par freeze them, we can put them in a bag together and they won't stick to each other. So I'll come back in 2 hours. All right, they've been frozen for about 2.5 hours, and there they go. We are cooking them at 375. The temperature of this oil is gonna fall by quite a bit. So I'm gonna try and keep them steady at about 350 and cook them until they hit an internal temperature of, let's just say 165. Also, I am shallow frying them in the wok. I think that's easier for the cleanup, and they are getting a nice brown color on the outside. Okay, they are done. Now, these on this side are a little bit darker than these on this side, but they had to fry for quite a while to get the inside hot enough, and I'm a little worried that they might be cold in the middle. All we can do is try one. So I'm gonna take one of the darker ones, and I'm gonna open it up, and let's see what that looks like on the inside. So that's what it is, and let's try one of these. Oh, that's good. Not burnt on the outside, which was my main worry. The outside is perfectly crispy. The inside has that olive-y, tomato-y taste. The recipe said you could serve these up with mayonnaise, ketchup. I'm gonna cheat a little bit and take some inspiration from Costa Rica and use some lisano. All right, let's try this. All right, hold on. Move all this to the side because it was all about the mamajuana when we started. So I have some in this glass right here. And let me just taste it straight away. Ooh, that's good. And let me do a little pairing. Let me do a little. That surprisingly works really well. I'm gonna try a couple things with this. I think I'm gonna try to make a cocktail with this mamajuana. So I'll be right back. So I got some ice in the mamajuana, and I got some club soda here. Let me just open this up. Come on, you. Just a bit. And then I'm gonna add a pretty heavy squeeze of orange. And then I will add a little decoration to the drink. And let's try this. Ooh, that right there. That's good. I'm gonna finish this up. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all the things. Until we see each other again, go cook something amazing, and I will see you next time. What more do you need? You don't need anything else. This is all you need in life. It's just deep fried beef, wrapped in beef, and a nice cocktail.